All right. So the session is now being recorded, I think. Yes, it is. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a GCP from Pakistan. So something that I noticed was that a lot of times we talk about GCPs. So we talk about what we're doing on a national level, the sort of projects we're doing, the sort of initiatives we have, etc., etc. And it's a lot about capacity building on a national level, capacity building on a level that is directly relevant to us. So I wanted to share a GCP that I designed for my elected LCVPs. So LCVPs for PD and PR who are now elected and they're going to be starting their term in February. This is a GCP for them. So the GCP basically is a transitioning toolkit. So this is the transitioning toolkit that I designed. I'll run you guys throughout the entire process of it. But the main idea behind designing this transitioning toolkit is to make them acquainted with PD and PR. A lot of them are people who have not done PD and PR before. So this is basically going to give them an idea on a local level on what PD and PR is. It's going to help them build the necessary communication skills, the necessary soft skills, and it's also going to give them a space to build themselves as a team and build themselves in terms of what the commission is, how to synergize, etc. So this is the cover for the transitioning toolkit. If you can see this small box, it has a form which is basically connected to a Google form that where they can submit all of their questions. So if they ask a question about a specific session, if they have a specific question about understanding anything at all, I'll even show you guys the form. It's a very simple form. It just has the name and the question. So if they submit their question here, I'll get all of the responses. And then in the sessions that we have in the transitioning, I will address all of those questions reflectively for every single person who's present at the session. The next thing is the dashboard. So something about ISEC in Pakistan is that we have 11 LCs and we have 12 LCVPs for it. So one of the LCs has separate LCVPs for PD and PR. The rest of them have one LCVP, both for PD and PR. This is going to basically track their progress throughout the transitioning. So I'll show you guys a checklist at the end that's basically going to decide how much of the transitioning has been done. So I will give you guys a quick rundown. um, if you see this checklist, it will have, so if I like put a tick mark here, it's going to show up as a number in this column. So every LC has their transitioning being tracked. How we're going to track that transitioning and how we're going to track that session is something we'll discuss in the objectives in the agenda. So this is basically the dashboard where they can see how much of their transitioning has been done, how much of it needs to be done, etc., etc. The objectives for this transitioning are these. So the first thing is obviously building soft skills. So I feel like something very, very important for all of my LCVPs is that they have the necessary communication skills, they have the necessary soft skills to go through that role. And those soft skills include communication, conflict resolution, etc., etc. So my first objective for this transitioning was that I helped them build those soft skills. The second objective was building strong team foundations. So we do have strong team foundations when it comes to the MC, but when it comes to the commission, a lot of times the LCVPs are not going to trust you. They're not going to trust your decisions. They're not going to trust what you are doing. They're not going to put all of their faith in you. So what I wanted to do with this transition was build a strong team foundation with them, that they would come to me with the problems, they would come to me for synergy, and they would tell me what was working and what wasn't working so that we can build a foundation together. So that was my second objective. My third objective was a very clear understanding of what PD and PR is in ISEC in Pakistan. So this will tell them everything they need to know about PD, everything they need to know about PR, and basically give them a rundown of how everything happens. I've also added the sort of sessions we're doing for each objective. So for skills, we're doing capacity building sessions and lead sessions. For team foundations, we're having vision mapping and team building spaces. And for understanding PD and PR, we have a localized PD academy and a PR academy. So we have international PD Academy that all of you guys have already done as well. PR Academy you guys have done. So something I made is basically a localized academy that is tailored to make my LCVPs understand everything. And it's completely tailored to the concepts of my entity instead of being global or international. And how I've divided all of these objectives over the agenda is I have a 10-day agenda, which is going to be spaced out over the course of a month. So day one is, if it's day one is 2nd December, then day two is probably going to be 5th December. Day three is going to be 7th December, and it's going to be spaced out. So It's not hectic for them, and it's not something that gets very rigorous. And how I've divided is, so the yellow spaces you guys can see are spaces for them for team building. The green spaces you guys can see are spaces for PD and PR Academy, and the red spaces are soft skills. So I've included sessions like, so the first session for PD Academy is PD for ISAC in Pakistan. The same way, the first team building session is an exercise in getting to know each other. And the first soft skill session I'm having is on basically on communication, what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. The same way, the entire agenda has different spaces for soft skills, like I included basics of design and content creation. I included conflict resolution. One of my personal favorite sessions is on day 7, which is called building self identities, something I really wanted my LCVPs to know. And then I also included a session on ABCs of measuring personal progress. So in the same way, I have team building sessions like build an alliance. This is an exercise we're going to be doing. Would you rather, a small game of would you rather with my LCVPs. We're also going to be playing Among Us as part of one of our team building activities. The same way, we have all of these things divided across the agenda. So this is something I wanted to do with my LCVPs as part of their transitioning, to not only teach them what PD and PR is, but also help them understand team building and understand themselves. And at the end of it, we have a checklist. So for each day, you guys can see day 1, day 2, day 3, and up till day 10, right? And every day has their corresponding sessions with it. And every session has a specific question. So let's say the first session is PD Academy, PD Academy session 1, PD for ISAC in Pakistan. At the end of the day, my LCVPs are going to answer this. So if the first question is, I understand what PD is. If yes, that LCVP is going to mark it as tick, all right. And then I understand my roles and responsibilities as LCVP. They're going to mark it as true as well. And what that is going to do, as soon as they start filling up this list, it's going to show their progress in the dashboard. So you can see their progress is 6.14%. And once they're done with the entire checklist by the end of the 10 days, this is going to be 100%, which is going to show them that now they have transitioned throughout the entire process. So this is what I made for my LCVPs. Do you guys have any questions? Anything you guys want to ask? Anything you guys want to say?
Shami, I just want to know, right? Your 10 days is actually consecutively, or means like maybe every weekend you take 2 days and then you will continue with 5 weeks.
So it's not consecutively 10 days, because consecutively 10 days would be really rigorous and it would really be hard for people to manage as well. So what I've done is I'm going to spread it across the month of December. So if day 1 is, let's say, 3rd December, day 2 is going to be 7th December or 5th December. And have like gaps in between, breaks in between, to sort of absorb the knowledge and work on it. So if you can see in the agenda, there is this part that says task allocation. So at the end of every day, if let's say we're discussing, so this is a session on understanding what we said. And right after session, I'm going to give them a small task to sort of help them apply that understanding to a practical example. So they're going to get like 2 to 3 days to work on it, and then they're going to come back in the next session and we're going to have feedback and review on it as well. So it's going to be spaced out and it's going to spread out over the course of an entire month.
Okay, thanks. So one more question is like because when you are actually designing this agenda, right, are you designing based on LC categorization, which means like because in Malaysia the context is like their competency in each of the LC is different, and as well as like how you cater their needs, the competency level, because some of the LCVP might understand the level of the sales pitching, and also like any single sales process, they are in different layer. Yeah.
Okay, so when I designed this agenda, before designing this agenda, I talked to all of my LCVPs, current, and I also talked to all of my elected LCVPs to sort of understand where they stood when it comes to understanding things, right? To maybe comprehend what their competency is and how I basically need to design everything. Something about ISIC in Pakistan is that we haven't had PD and PR on a local level for the past 4 to 5 years. So there has been no transitioning, there has been no structure, there has been no framework. So people essentially don't know about PD and PR on a local level. So for me to inculcate basics as well as complex things was part of the agenda. So I basically talked to everybody to understand how much I needed to keep it basic and how much complex I can make it. So that's how I made it.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Anybody else has a question? Are we good? Perfect.
Just one more question.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yes, dear.
too much question from me.
No
Yeah, I
problem.
just like want to know about like the are you going to do something like PD Academy, right? In a record version, like you will actually pass down those as L&D session for your LCBP, BD or PR in educating their members as well.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is, as part of this agenda, so like I said, it's going to be PD Academy and PR Academy, right? So every session that's going to be delivered is also going to be put in a Google Classroom. So I'll show you guys the structure for the Google Classroom, and you guys can see how I'm going to be doing it. I'll deliver the session as part of the transitioning, and then the output of it or the slide, the entire session, I'm going to upload it as part of the PD Academy that they can later access and give to their members as well. So I've already made the structure for both of them. You guys can see here that this is going to be the PD Academy for ISAC in Pakistan. So all of the sessions, the names have already been up. I'm just going to upload the content on this once I've delivered it as part of the transitioning. So as soon as that day is over, as soon as that session is over, the content for that session is going to be uploaded here. And then they can join the class and upload all of their tasks and assignments here as well. And they can give it to their members if they want to downscale the knowledge. And the same goes for the PR Academy, which is going to be here. So all of them, all of the sessions are here. I'm just going to upload the content. Any other questions? Okay,
Thanks.
no problem. So what I'm going to do is, if you guys want this transitioning toolkit, I will share a link to it, an editable link so that you guys can customize it according to your LCVPs if you ever want to use it. Okay, so the next part we're going to do is perfect. So the next part we're going to do is a GCP from Philippines. Jika, do you want me to share my slides or do you want to share the slides yourself?
It's okay. You can continue to screen share. I can
Okay.
manage. Okay. So, hi everyone. Okay, so you can screen share. Okay. So for my GCP from the Philippines, so it's more of like a PR kind of GCP, but anyway, it's also good to complement BD with PR. So for transparency, Make Sense Philippines is not officially our PR partner just yet, but let me explain to you what Make Sense is about. So, okay, we can go on to the next slide. So, yes. Okay, so just to explain what Make Sense is about. So this is really just from their website. So they bring together and support engaged citizens, passionate entrepreneurs, and forward-looking organizations to collectively tackle today's social and environmental issues. And I guess just to simplify things, so it's really a great organization wherein they mobilize people from different sectors. So it's in a way it's a low effort, high impact kind of organization. So okay, moving forward. So next slide, please. Okay, so it's pretty interesting because it reminds me a lot about how ISAC is structured because they also have offices in different countries. So they have an office in Paris, Mexico, Dakar, Manila, Beirut, um, Lima, Delhi, and Abidjan. So in Asia Pacific, they're mostly stationed in the Philippines or Manila. So next slide. Okay. So they've been in Asia for like 4 years now. And yeah, as I mentioned, they are mostly stationed in the Philippines. So their main headquarters is actually here in Manila. And what's really great about this is like, you know how we're always saying we should collaborate with other sectors, we should reach out to other people. And with this great organization, they really um, optimize the process for collaboration. So next slide. Okay. I'm just going to explain how this organization has been doing. So they have social innovation programs, they have civic engagement campaigns, they also have an incubation program for early stage social entrepreneurs. And specifically, our involvement so far, okay, so next slide. So Okay. Oh, sorry. Just to show, like, these are the organizations that they're partnered with. So just imagine, like, it's really killing, or like not really killing. It's more of like optimizing the time, really, because imagine if I just went to UNDP on my own, or like if I needed contacts with Coca-Cola. So it really just makes things more efficient because they already have the contacts of these organizations, and they're really willing to give these people, or like help frame the collaboration for us. So with Make Sense, what we're actually doing now is we actually have a Health for All coalition. So for this coalition, they really want to improve the access to healthcare for disadvantaged communities. And recently, so they had recruitment for this program. So next slide, please. Shamin, thank you. So they had a sprint from July 6th to July 24. And what's really great about this program is that we get to meet potential co-founders, challenge existing ideas, and design comprehensive concepts. We also get to support the creation of new ideas. And what's really great about this is I really get to network on the job, and they really make it efficient, as I always say. So next slide. So what I can get from joining. So these are the benefits that I have been waiting for. So I get to prototype and test our product, or like I even get access to their methodologies, their frameworks for entrepreneurship, and they're really good with design thinking. So we also get coaching and mentorship from experts, from people who are really good with the field, and we also get media exposure and a network of potential partners, advisors, and supporters. So I'm almost done. So I'm really just like hyping Make Sense here, really. So this is the coalition that I'm involved with. So I got to meet people who are working in the health sector. I got to meet people who are working on what do you call this? I honestly forgot. But anyway, so like I also got to meet like the renowned doctors in the Philippines. So imagine if I didn't get to join this coalition. And let me just show you. Okay, next slide, please. Let me just show you the vast network that I get to meet. So I get to meet people from the International Society of Tropical Pediatrics. I got to meet people from the Philippine Red Cross, Save the Children, Life Cycles. Yeah. And with this organization, I remember when I emailed them for the first time because they sent the formal invite. I was honestly wondering, like, okay, Isaac is not yet the best when it comes to knowledge for healthcare. So like, what is the advantage, or like what should be the reason or motivation for me joining this coalition? And they really said that it doesn't matter if you don't know much, because at the end of the day, you are essentially the stakeholders that people want to reach, or you get to also be the check and balance because you know what good governance looks like. So with that coalition, honestly, it has been really challenging also because I'm partnered, or like I'm grouped with people who are so much older than me, and it's honestly intimidating at first because they're experts. But then it's also an interesting balance because I get to also challenge their ideas. So yeah, they're actually international. So I'm gonna talk to Sumi after this conference about Make Sense. So yeah, that would be my GCP. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jika, for sharing. I think it was very insightful. I sort of wish I was in Philippines so that I could work on it, because in Pakistan, a lot of organizations don't work like this. And it's always super, super rigorous to just sort of get connected to them. But it was amazing, and congratulations on the coalition as well. Okay, so the next TCB we have today is from Malaysia. Who's going to be presenting from Malaysia? Just a second.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Zia. Yes. Okay, so Zia, do you want me to?
Also, Shermin. So, basically, what is the GCP from Malaysia? Right, because we are having our CC team, right? So we work as a sales team and also to co-create the value for the partners. No? Yeah. So how we do? I think it's very simple, but it's hard to do. Yeah. Which is you can go to next slide. Yeah. There's two things only we do as a sales team, or even like everything. Yeah, the first thing first is I did share it before, which is customization. Everything is just customized based on partners needs and also partners focus. So a lot of time that salespeople, we do sales, right, what we also want to bring out is also the value between the partnership. So we will really prepare a lot, like starting from going to the sales meeting and then understand them more, and also to get, like, to make the proposal based on what they are focusing, like read a lot of things, especially like their annual report. We really read slide by slide to really get why they want to do this and how they do this, and to really come up with a very customized proposal, like to sell the things that we have in Isaac, yeah, to cater what they need. So yeah, and then the next thing will be synergy, because I think it's also very tough time for us to come together as a team, because we have AM sales team, which is Isaac in Malaysia sales team, which is me and Lamin. Me is more towards employer branding, and then Lamin is more towards IGV, which is community development. So among both of us, we already have a lot of things need to synergy, because we co-create the proposal together, and at the same time we also need to like how to say synergy with CC team, like what they sell, how we sell, how is the deliverables that we co-create together. Everything is going to be very messed out if let's say we do not have a very good synergy at that time. And then another thing is like after we sell it, we still need a synergy with production and also marketing team, whoever support us to co-create the deliverables. Especially now we are focusing a lot on digital marketing, and also to showcase the partner what is the uniqueness of Isaac, which is the youth network and also youth outreach that we have across Malaysia. Yeah, so basically what we do is we also do L&D together, like CC, AM, and also production team with different title, different like routine, like we will have L&D routine in our team. And then the next thing is like proposal co-creation, because we want to position Isaac in Malaysia as a whole, but not like Isaac in Malaysia only, and then conference team, like international conference team, one team. Yeah, but then we want to make it sure like this is Isaac Malaysia and this is what we do together. CC is part of us, so we will do a lot of like proposal co-creation. And then we will like let's say I secure sales meeting, right? The sales meeting will not attend by me only. I will invite Lermin, I will invite CC representative to go into a same sales meeting, and then some of the people are taking note, and some of the people who actually lead the conversation, and some of the one who actually question more from their side, like from each of the perspective, because from there we only know that how we can actually provide the value better. So usually what's the question that I will ask in the team is like what kind of impacts that you want to see when you do employer branding initiative in Malaysia. Then they will know, then I will know from NPD perspective. And then CC team is like, do you need international talents? Then if let's say the company say yes, then we can propose IC Malaysia next year to them to actually get in touch with the talent. So everyone will have different perspective come into a same sales meeting. Then they will have a more thorough and holistic way to evaluate the partnership in between. Yeah, and then partner also know us at a very holistic way, like what Isaac do in Isaac in Malaysia and also international congress and also community development. They can know it at a very rough way. Yeah, and then another thing is like in our sales team, we also have different sales role, because in total we will have 5 person, two coming from Isaac in Malaysia, and then another 3 coming from conference team, which is IC Malaysia team. So what we do is like me and another CC head, we are doing closing sales, because we generate a lot of sales in past few months already, so now it's closing. And then another 3 is generating more leads and generating more sales, and then we are also attending at the same time and closing the sales at the same time. So this can actually fasten up the whole sales process in whole Isaac in Malaysia. So I think if let's say you have people in your team, you can do this as well, differentiate them with different sales process, with sales role. Yeah. I think that's all from Isaac in Malaysia. Yeah, I still think that we can do better, and yeah, lor. Thank you. Feel free to ask any question if you want. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I do have one question though. So something we're doing right now is because CC teams, we call them OC teams, right? And they're directly under my governance and management. And I wanted to know if you have any sort of trackers and any sort of frameworks to sort of track their progress as well.
Okay. So basically, we do have trackers like to co-create the things together. Like for example, the pricing, how much we are going to sell as whole. Like each of the portfolio that we are going to sell, be it CC or AM, we have one tracker for pricing. And then another things is like basically we track through meeting as well. So the meeting, like how to say, like the meeting slide is actually one of the tracker that we track each other, because every week we will update our sales focus and how is the things. Yeah. So if you want to know, I can share you one of the sales meeting slide. Uh, it will be great. You will see how we report, because we will report based on portfolio as well. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, let me share in the chat. And everyone, if let's say you cannot go through
Okay.
it.
Okay, let me see if I can open it. Yes.
Yeah, basically that's all for our tracking part. Because we work very closely, like my predecessor, which is Lermin as well, and then now she is community development in IGV. So everything I can ask her, and we will co-create together.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing, Gia. I think this is really, really helpful. Okay, perfect. So the next part of our session is going to be, so we're going to just go over a couple of questions. So we've discussed GCPs, we've talked about how each GCP works in each entity. The question for today is what makes Asia Pacific great? And what is one thing that is unique about Asia Pacific that you think adds value to how we perform? So what do you guys think? Anything you guys that comes to your mind? Anything at all that you think is something that adds value to Asia Pacific?
I think in terms of economic base, other than America or even like those big company, no, big country, I would say AP region is also one of the region that can grow a lot if let's say every single country that we are actually unite together. Yeah. And also I think it's also one of the things is about the culture that we have as AP region. Like we always work together to strive for more and to go for more. Yeah.
Perfect. Andy, Jika, do you guys want to add anything to this?
I think because we're so different, it also what do you call this? It makes us humble in a way. Like there's no denial that there are entities who are doing so much better, but for those who aren't, like not yet in the same level, there's that added humility to learn. So I think that's what makes things exciting because we're always excited to learn from each other. So I'll keep my answer short and sweet.
Okay, Andy, what do you want to say?
Um, in terms of the regions, I think in PR wise, because like I'm in PR, right? In PR wise, there are a lot of organizations that still wants to work with Isaac and still that see Isaac is a very good platform that you have a collaboration with, meaning that our market in terms of PR, strategic alliances, and UN bodies and so far and so on, they still look it up to Isaac as an organization. I can see that in my experience in Indonesia and several of your GCPs in in several touch points that we had, we still have this kind of collaborations with different kind of organization that focus on certain issues, which actually tackling the problem that not the problem, tackling the fact that Isaac is a very general organization. I mean, when we talk about it, it's a very broad meaning, right? And when we actually collaborate with specific organization that actually talking about specific issues,
Mm.
uh, especially during COVID and so on and so on, there are several organizations that really become a highlight in our market, in our audiences, and public in our countries. So yeah, I think it's a very beneficial thing as well for the AP. So that's my point of view.
Perfect. Harsh, Pranal, Vanessa, do you want to add anything?
I guess I'll say something. So, I think what I noticed compared to Asia Pacific to say like large regions like Europe and America, Asia Pacific, they're really much more engaged with Isaac, especially the young people, because they really see Isaac as really the platform to develop their leadership skills compared to, say, in Europe, they see Isaac as more just a place to volunteer and just give their time. I don't know, with Asia Pacific, they truly see the essence and the importance of developing the leadership. So, like say with America and Europe, they see it as more like, oh, this can be a place where I can just gain more experience and put on my CV. But with Asia Pacific, it seems like there's more opportunities for empowering more young people. So, yeah, that's all I can add. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Anybody else wants to add something? Okay, I'll take that to mean no. I think Gia, Jika, Andy, Vanessa, you guys made great points into this. I think so. For my personal opinion, is that what makes AP so engaging and so connected and so great in essence is because all of us at a very individual level are ready to make it that way, and we're always working to make it that way. We're always putting in our own individual effort to make sure that what we deliver is not only of value to us, but is also of value to other people. Even if it's in terms of partnership, if it's in terms of resources, if it's in terms of just sharing our ideas, etc. I mean, whoever I've reached out to in AP, they've always been super, super helpful. No matter how many questions I've had, no matter if it's just because I wanted to get GCPs or if I wanted help on something, AP has always, pulled through and made sure that the other person is facilitated. So I think that's one thing that makes Asia Pacific really, really great. That ends the session here. So this is the end of the AP Champion session. We have half an hour session on remote feature and then we have a 15-minute break. Um, Sadly for you guys, I'm also delivering the remote feature session, so you're gonna have to put up with me for half an hour more. Do you guys need 5 minutes break or do you want me to continue? It's a relatively shorter session. It's just a little bit of an explanation on remote feature. What do you guys think? Wait, let me end the recording on the previous session.